In this video, we're going to break down data storage costs on Amazon S3. The goal is to help you quickly spot when to use each storage class so you can save money without sacrificing performance or compliance. A helpful way to think about S3 is as a spectrum of data temperature: hot, warm, and cold. Hot data is accessed frequently and needs speed, and cold data is rarely read and optimized for low cost. When you upload an object into an S3 bucket, you're choosing a storage class. Each one has its own mix of performance, durability and availability, and cost model. Performance means how fast you can get your data back. Durability and availability means how safely your data is stored and how often it's available. And cost model, which means what you pay to store the data and what you pay when you read it. With that in mind, let's walk through the main groups, starting with the options built for fast access. Hot and general purpose storage classes are designed for data that needs fast, frequent access. The first one is S3 standard. It's the default and most commonly used storage class. It offers high durability, high availability, and low latency. And your data is stored across multiple availability zones in a region. So it's a great fit for websites and web applications, APIs, frequently accessed documents, and logs that are read often. Next up are infrequent access storage classes, which are options for data you don't read often, but still want to retrieve quickly when you need it. The first option is S3 standard IA or infrequent access. It has the same durability and speed as S3 standard, but it's meant for data accessed only occasionally. You get a lower storage cost than standard, but you pay an extra fee per gigabyte when you retrieve the data. So common use cases include backups, you read a few times a year, and older reports or files that are sometimes checked. The next option is S3 one zone IA. It's similar to standard IA, but stored in only one availability zone. It's lower priced than standard IA, but it's less resilient if that availability zone fails. So it's best for recreatable data, secondary copies, or data that you can rebuild from another source. And then there is a specialized option that's all about extremely low latency as long as you're okay staying in a single availability zone. And that's S3 Express One Zone. It's a high-performance storage in a single AZ optimized for very low latency. Your data is kept very close to your compute in that AZ, and durability is tied to that one AZ. So use cases include high-performance analytics, real-time processing, and workloads needing very fast access to objects. So that covers hot and warm side of spectrum. Next, let's move into the true cold and archival options, where storage gets really cheap, but retrieval trade-offs start to matter more. Starting with cold and archival storage, also known as Glacier classes. These are for data you almost never read, but you must keep them for a long time. The first option here is S3 Glacier Instance Retrieval. It has archive-style pricing, but still gives you millisecond retrieval. It's cheaper to store than hot storage with higher cost when you retrieve data. So use cases include older user content, documentation, or media that might be requested very occasionally. Next, S3 Glacier Flexible Retrieval. This is a deeper archive option with slower retrieval. It offers very low storage costs with different retrieval speed options. So use cases include long-term backups, compliance archives, and historical data you almost never touch. And then there is a S3 Glacier Deep Archive. This is the lowest cost storage class in S3 for long-term retention. Retrieval can take many hours. It's designed for things like regulatory records and long-term logs that must be kept for many years. Now, one important thing I wanted to bring to your attention is for standard IA, one zone IA, and Glacier family, the cost pattern usually looks like this. Lower cost per gigabyte to store, but additional charges per gigabyte to retrieve, plus request charges. Moving on to the next topic. Since access patterns change over time, the next question becomes, how can we automate transitioning our data gradually over time when they get colder? Because in the real-world scenarios, access patterns really change over time and data starts hot and then gradually cools off. And that's where S3 lifecycle configuration comes in. S3 Lifecycle Rules lets you define time-based policies to transition objects to another storage class, like transition data from a hotter storage class to a colder one, or even delete them for good after a specific time. For example, after 30 days, move from standard to standard IA. After 365 days or a year, transition to Glacier Deep Archive. And delete after 7 years, for example. So this feature can automatically handle your data transition policies. And if you don't want to guess your access patterns upfront, there's another feature called S3 Intelligent Tiering. With S3 Intelligent Tiering, S3 monitors access patterns and moves data to cheaper tiers when it becomes infrequently accessed. And if it becomes hot again, S3 can move it back to a faster tier. So use it when access patterns are unknown and change over time. So with lifecycle policies, you create manual rules for your automated transitions, but with intelligent tiering, S3 does that automatically based on the access patterns. Now, here comes another service that helps you monitor your buckets and its data and its statistics, and it's very helpful for you when you especially have lots of S3 buckets to manage, and that's S3 Storage Lens. S3 Storage Lens gives you a global dashboard for S3 usage across your accounts. It shows metrics like storage usage, object counts, and access patterns, and it can also highlight areas where you might be able to cut costs. Alright, before we wrap up this video, here's a quick mental model to take away. The first one is, don't forget about the data temperature spectrum. Hot data is accessed frequently and needs speed. Cold data is rarely read and optimized for low cost. In terms of main S3 storage classes, S3 standard means frequent access, standard IA and one zone IA mean infrequent access, lower cost, and paid retrieval. The Glacier family, instant retrieval, flexible retrieval, and deep archive covers archival data with different retrieval speed and prices, and Express One Zone is for very low latency in only a single availability zone. Consider using the optimization tools you have, which are lifecycle configurations, which help you transition or expire objects over time, and intelligent tiering that helps you optimize cost when access patterns are unknown, and Storage Lens that gives you a better visibility and cost optimization insights. In our previous videos, we already explained Amazon S3 and S3 storage classes in detail. You can also give that a look if you're interested into knowing them more. And that is it for this video, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.